The Shelf. A horror story. It was 11:47 p.m. when Grace and her 5 friends, Mia, Hannah, Leah, Sophie, and Ava, pulled into the car park of an old shop they had never noticed before. The building looked abandoned. The windows were dusty. The sign above the entrance flickered between "Open" and "Help me." "Did anyone else see that?" Grace asked. The sign suddenly returned to normal. "Open." Leah laughed nervously. "Okay, that's creepy." They decided to go inside anyway. The automatic doors opened before anyone touched them. Ding! Inside, the shop was completely silent. No music, no staff, no customers. Only the buzzing of the fluorescent lights. Grace looked at her phone. 11:48 p.m. Ava walked toward the drinks aisle. "Guys, look." There was a digital clock hanging above the shelves. It read 11:48. They walked to the next aisle. Another clock. They turned the corner. Another. Every clock in the shop showed exactly the same time. The girls looked at each other. Then the lights went out. Click! Ava grabbed Grace's arm. "Don't move." Something scraped across the floor somewhere nearby. Then came a whisper. "Grace." Grace froze. "Who said that?" Nobody answered. The lights came back. Everyone was still standing together, except Leah. She was standing at the other end of the aisle. "Leah!" Hannah shouted. Leah looked confused. "I didn't move?" Grace stared at her, then she noticed something behind Leah, a shelf that hadn't been there before. And sitting on that shelf were 6 cans. Each one had a girl's name written across it. Grace, Maya, Hannah, Leah, Sophie, Ava. Grace slowly walked closer. "Don't touch them." Underneath the cans was a handwritten message. 1 shelf. 6 girls. 1 of you will stay. Suddenly, every phone in the group buzzed at exactly the same time. They looked at their screens. A photograph had appeared. It showed the 6 girls standing in the shop, but the photograph was old. Very old. And standing behind them was the mysterious girl with the long hair covering her face. Sophie dropped her phone. How did she get into the picture? Grace looked at the photograph again. The girl wasn't behind them anymore. She was standing between them. The lights flickered. Once, twice. Then the shop speakers crackled. A woman's voice whispered, "Put it back." Ava looked terrified. "Put what back?" The answer appeared on the floor, written in dark red letters. "The thing you took." Everyone looked at Ava. "I didn't take anything." Then Grace noticed something in Ava's hand. The packet of crisps. The one she had picked up earlier. Ava stared at it. "I swear this wasn't in my hand." The packet suddenly fell to the floor. The shop doors slammed shut. Bang! Every shelf began shaking. Cans rolled onto the floor. Boxes fell. The lights flickered rapidly. And from the back of the shop came footsteps. Slow, heavy, getting closer. Step, step, step. The girls ran. They reached the entrance. Grace pulled the doors. Nothing. Mia kicked them. Nothing. Then the lights stopped flickering. Everything became completely silent. Grace looked through the glass. The car park was gone. Outside wasn't the street. It was another aisle. The shop had somehow surrounded them. "We're trapped," Hannah whispered. Then a freezer door opened by itself. Inside was a photograph. Grace picked it up. It showed the shop from years earlier. 6 girls were standing in exactly the same positions as them. Grace turned the photograph over. There was a date written in the back, 20 years ago. And underneath, they never left. Suddenly, 6 knocks came from inside the walls. Knock, 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 knock. The girls screamed. Then the mysterious girl appeared at the end of the aisle. She slowly lifted her hand. She wasn't pointing at them. She was pointing at the clocks. Grace looked up. Every clock had changed, 11:59. The girl's voice whispered, "Midnight." The second hand began moving. 11:59:50. Grace grabbed the others. "Run!" They sprinted toward the back of the shop. A tiny emergency exit appeared between 2 shelves. Grace pushed it open. Bright daylight flooded through. They stumbled outside. The shop was gone. There was nothing there except an empty patch of grass. For several minutes, nobody spoke. Then Mia checked her phone. 12 a.m. "We made it," she whispered. Grace smiled nervously. Then her phone buzzed. A message appeared. Unknown number. Open quote, "You left one behind," close quote. Grace's smile disappeared. She looked around. Mia, Hannah, Leah, Sophie, Ava. All 5 friends were there. Then Grace counted again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She slowly looked at the group. There were 6 girls, but none of them had noticed the 7th person standing behind them. Long hair covered her face. She whispered, "You forgot the shelf." The screen on Grace's phone went black. Then one final message appeared. The shop isn't gone. It's just waiting for you to come back.